Welcome to Legal Matters. I'm your host, Alan Jones, and with me is attorney Michael Crosby with the Crosby Law Firm. Legal Matters is an informational and news call-in show devoted to legal topics of interest to State Line viewers. We have attorneys standing by now to take your call at the number on your screen. That's 815-397-2006. We'll provide you with free information on your issue, so call now and throughout the next hour. In our opening statement, we'll talk about what to do if you're in an auto accident. And then, following a break, we'll continue the popular You Want to Know question and answer segment devoted to questions posed by you, the viewer, by way of telephone calls, emails, texts, and tweets that have been received. But before we get started, let me remind you of the practice areas in which the Crosby Law Firm concentrates. The Crosby Law Firm has a Center for Divorce and Family Law, an Auto Accident Injury and Social Security Disability Department, a Bankruptcy Institute, an Office for DUI, Traffic and Criminal Defense, an Advanced Care Plan and Probate Center, a Division for Real Estate and Business Matters, and a Department for Immigration and Naturalization Services. So please feel free to call and discuss any of these practice areas with the attorney standing by. That number on your screen again, 815-397-2006. And Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Alan. Glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Summer is upon us. That means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. To most, it talks about vacation. And people, family vacations, pile in the car and take off. Unfortunately, that may also result in some accidents somewhere along the way. So what are some things that the Crosby Law Firm that you can suggest to people to do when they're on the road on vacation?
A good topic for this time of the year, June. We are entering the summertime, and folks do take those over-the-road vacations, and unfortunately there are some accidents from time to time. Alan, we've been handling personal injury cases and auto accident cases for well over 35 years. We've settled cases that, in the aggregate, total well over millions of dollars. We handle cases as small as $5,000 or $10,000 and cases as big as multi-million-dollar cases all over the place. When someone's in an accident, the first thing is just to employ a little common sense. Stop your car, check to see if anyone's injured, yourself, your passengers, or the other vehicles involved with the accident, and then call 911, secure the police, get the police to come out to the accident site as quickly as possible. If someone's really injured, of course you want the ambulance there to take someone to the hospital.
Like you said, that's common sense.
Basic common
right
sense,
there.
but when people are kind of in a panic with an auto accident, sometimes they don't think clearly. But those are the basic things. Stop your car, make sure no one's injured, and if anyone is, and you have an expertise, CPR, so forth and so on, go ahead and try to help someone out, and of course the 911 to the police.
Well, what about if someone the person who caused the accident or was the victim of the accident? What should they think about doing along the line?
Well, in a general practice firm like ours, we have a traffic and criminal defense department. We also have an auto accident and personal injury department. So if the person that calls our office was the one that received the ticket, we're going to be focusing on defending them regarding that traffic accident. If the person that calls us is the victim and was injured in the accident, we're going to focus on assisting them in our personal injury auto accident department. So it depends, but either way, someone needs to pick up the phone and call an attorney as quickly as can and retain a lawyer that does this kind of work.
And the number, of course, 815-397-2006. That's the number to call for Crosby Law Firm. Now, when you meet with a client who's a victim of an auto accident, what kind of issues are you looking for?
Well, if we're talking about the personal injury aspect, where someone's been injured in an accident, the first thing we want to see is the other party. Did they receive the ticket? Meaning, did they make the mistake? Were they liable? Did they breach their standard of care that caused the injury to our prospective client? So you need liability, you need causation, and you need injury in order to have an auto accident case. Next thing we look at is the statute of limitations. On most auto accident cases, it's upwards of 2 years. We also look to see if the person that was cited, that received the ticket, if he has insurance or she has insurance, and with what company, and what kind of coverage there is. Those are the basics. Liability, causation, the degree of the injury, the statute of limitations, how long has passed since the accident, and lastly, did the person cited, did they have insurance?
And if they don't, that leads us to that. What if they don't have any?
Well, in our state, it's required that you carry auto insurance, $20,000 and $40,000 minimum. But there are some folks who do not carry insurance or violate the law, or do carry it but have an inadequate amount. So routinely in our office, when we examine an auto accident case, and I'd encourage you to give us a call if you or loved ones or friends have been victimized in an accident. We do a lot of this work. One of the things we'll look at, our client, their insurance. And there's typically a provision in their own insurance called uninsured and underinsured. So if they were seriously injured and the liability amount by the person cited, the defendant if you will, is small, then we can look to our client's own insurance for underinsured coverage. Or if the person that was cited violated the law, didn't have insurance, then we can look to our client's own insurance for uninsured coverage. So that's rather routine. So if you've been in an accident and you don't think the other fellow had insurance, don't despair. Please give us a call through your own insurance. We may be able to help you.
Okay, some very, very good information. So they should call the office, 815-397-2006, and get information about such instances as what we've been talking about. Stay tuned for our rapid fire You Want to Know question and answer segment. That's coming up after we take a break. And welcome back, everyone. Before we get to our question and answer segment, we have another question I want to ask Michael real quick.
Sure.
When you're looking at an auto accident case, how do you evaluate it, from taking it to court or settling with the insurance company? What's the best way to think about that?
Very good question. When we sit down with a client to evaluate the case, the first thing we touch on, assuming we've got those criteria that we need, the liability, the causation, and the injury, the first thing we do with the client is to advise them to never contact the insurance company, whether it be their own insurance company or the defendant's insurance company, the fellow that got the ticket that caused the accident. Insurance companies are major corporations, and they're all about their profit margin. They're all about collecting premiums. They have a duty to their stockholder. So insurance companies are averse to settling cases. That's why you need a lawyer to intervene, handle it in a professional way. So in evaluating a case, we always counsel the client, retain the lawyer, let us deal with the insurance companies on both sides. You focus on your recovery, you focus on getting released from medical treatment. As to whether we should attempt to settle the case with the insurance company or take it to a trial, it's a case-by-case analysis. It depends on the severity of the injuries. It depends on the coverage that the defendant has regarding the insurance. So most cases get resolved and settled prior to trial. That's the overwhelming number. And our objective is to do our level best to make the client whole again after the serious injury, serious accident. So that's what we try to do, and if we can do it with settling the case as opposed to a trial, we will. If we need to tee it up, play hardball, take the insurance company, the defendant to the mat, we can do that with the best of them.
Do that too. Okay. Thanks for that.
Good question.
Filling that up a little bit,
sure.
getting some information. Now we'll go with our rapid fire You Want to Know segment. We'll get some feedback, some questions from a lot of the viewers to the program. In an effort to protect viewer confidentiality with these questions, understand we're only using first names. We may alter the location of the viewer and the nature of the question, but we'll get the gist of it nonetheless. Here's the first question, Michael. From Mark in Loves Park, describe who the law firm's typical client is and your firm's approach to cases.
Good question. Quite candidly, there is no typical client. We're all God's children. Each one of us have individual qualities, individual attributes. So we represent individuals. We do very little work with major corporations, with government bodies, with trade associations. So the folks that come to see us are family people, individuals, hardworking people from Northern Illinois who have an issue, who have a problem, and they're looking for us to help them problem solve. If we're able to problem solve in a low-key, diplomatic, collaborative way, not make mountains out of molehills, resolve things expeditiously and fairly, that's the approach that we take. That's quite candidly because we do represent individuals. That's why we have free consultations, and that's why we have flat fees. This is my hometown, so I'm sensitive to representing these folks, doing the level best that we can, providing them with that free consultation initially so that we can properly diagnose the case, properly analyze the issues. And again, most of the work that we do is on a flat fee basis, except for the auto accident work, which is a contingency fee. We only get paid on auto accidents if we get a recovery for the client. All the other work the overwhelming amount is done on a flat fee, so the client's able to budget, they know where they stand, there aren't any hidden costs. They don't get billed for a 5-minute phone call, they don't get billed for a 2-paragraph letter, it's a flat charge. So give us a call, be happy to help you.
That flat fee, that's good to know. That's
Absolutely, very client friendly.
Yeah. The number again, by the way, 815-397-2006. Next question from Joe in DeKalb County. He says, during a divorce, how is it decided who should move out of the home? We have 3 kids. We pretty much share responsibilities in caring for the children. Also, my family is local, so I get a lot of support from my parents, but her family lives far away. How do you counsel somebody like that?
Alan, it's a case-by-case situation. Typically, when there's a pending divorce, it can be a real struggle for the husband and the wife to continue to live under the same roof while the divorce is pending. So our first objective is to stabilize the family unit if there's children involved. Second objective in stabilizing the family unit is to minimize fights or arguments. So if we're representing a husband or a wife, one of the first things we ask, do you want to stay in the house? And then we develop a strategy to employ as to how to help them secure the house. Very good question.
Okay. Now we head on. A reminder, the number to call, 815-397-2006. Andy in Winnebago County, how can I declare bankruptcy yet still have money to pay attorney's fees instead of creditors?
Andy, it's a very good question. We've been doing bankruptcy for almost 35 years, and when I started doing bankruptcy in our law firm, it was a catch-22 to me. People are struggling, they have debt, and yet they need to compensate the lawyer, take care of the costs. It's always an issue. In our office, we have payment plans. So if the folks are not able to take care of the fees up front, we can structure a payment plan. If there's a Chapter 13 plan, which is a reorganization of your debt, where you pay a percentage of it back, we're able to put the legal fees and the expenses into the plan. Overwhelming, our job is to protect the client. So typically the legal fees and the expenses are going to come before the creditors. The creditors are the folks that you're trying to discharge, trying to walk away from those debts and start over. Good question.
All right. Well, we have just a little bit of time left, so we'll make this one quick. Just been arrested. John in Chesney Park, been arrested. My 3rd DUI in 5 years. Can you help?
John in Chesney Park has some serious issues. In our state, there's prosecutorial discretion on prosecuting for a 3rd DUI as a felon, as a felony, as opposed to a regular DUI, a first one or a second one. So if you've got your 3rd DUI out there, please give us a call. First DUI, second DUI, important too, because you don't want to stack it and get to the point where you have a 3rd one. So we do a lot of traffic work, a lot of criminal defense and DUI work in our office. So I'd encourage you to give us a call. You may have a drinking problem. You may have a serious alcohol issue. If you've got 3 DUIs in a 5-year period. So we're going to help you out in that regard as well. We're not just about trying to avoid prison time for you, which you can get with a felony on a 3rd DUI. We're also about trying to help you rehab, put together your family unit, put together your life again, and move forward. Sure. So we evaluate all of those things when a client comes to visit with us on a DUI matter.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
You bet.
Again, the number is 815-397-2006. Don't forget, lawyers are standing by for another half hour after the show airs, so be sure and call for that. That's all the time we have with the Crosby Law Firm. Legal Matters continues with Mark Brennison with the American Law Firm after we take a break.